I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kai. How are you?
Doing really well. Class, this is Staff Sergeant O'Shea. He is going to answer some of the questions that you emailed to your history teachers. Thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to do this for Northeast.
Oh, no problem at all.
Okay, so we'll jump right into the questions that were sent. The first one was, why did you choose to join the military?
That's a good question. So I joined March 26, 2002. So that was right after 9/11. So that played a big role in my decision to finally go and do it. Another reason was at that time the National Guard was offering 100% tuition to any state school. So I wanted to take advantage of that. So it was a few different reasons.
That's great. That's also wonderful that you pointed out the tuition reimbursement, because I know that's common through the branches of military. So our students might be interested in knowing that fact.
That's right. And actually for the National Guard, Governor Wolf just passed a bill that if you have 6 years on your contract, they'll cover up to 4 years of school for anybody in your family, wife, spouse, children, even if, years down the road.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of great programs out there.
The second one, I should maybe ask this first, but what branch of the military are you in?
I'm in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard.
How did you imagine the military would be before you joined?
Just like any other kid in the 80s and 90s, I watched a lot of G.I. Joe and Rambo and things like that. I pictured it like upbeat, like very disciplined, routine. It's just like the movies and stuff like that. It's a lot different than what it really is. But some things are similar to what I had pictured, and a lot of things are a lot different.
You kind of already mentioned this a little bit, but when did you first join, and what were your first thoughts once you joined?
I first joined March 26, 2002. I was a junior in high school. So then I went through basic training the summer going into my senior year at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I came home, finished my senior year of high school, and then I went to like AIT, Advanced Individual Training, like whatever your job's. So I went there to Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. And I was like, when I first joined, I was kind of like, you get off the bus down there and you get screamed at and run around like, what did I do? But once I got there, got the routine, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this step.
One of the 8th grade students submitted a question that kind of ties in with what you just talked about. He said his father is a Marine veteran, and he tells him a lot of stories about when he was in active duty, and he also participated in the war in Iraq. But his question for you was, how hard was boot camp, physically and mentally?
First off, I just want to thank that student and his father for service, because it's not just the service members, the family too that gets affected by that. So I appreciate your father's service there. Boot camp, was tough. It is. It's physically demanding. You're up early in the morning, you're doing physical training in the morning, and then carrying out the training for the day. So it could be doing an obstacle course, going on a road march, weapons qualification, and then PT again. If you make a mistake, you're doing a lot of push-ups throughout the day. So I think the goal there is for them to kind of break you down and then build you back up, so that you have that discipline to carry out your career. It's very tough, but you get used to it.
What different locations have you been stationed in?
Well, I've been around a little bit, mostly being in the National Guard. Most of my duty time has been between like Toby Hanna and Scranton. But I've been through, kind of wrote a couple down here. I've been to South Carolina, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, Arkansas, New Hampshire, Virginia, Germany, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar, right by Saudi Arabia there.
So a little bit of everywhere.
A little bit of everything.
What is or was the most rewarding part of your service?
That's a tough question. I think, when we go out in public, or even the National Guard specifically, so we're not just, we're kind of the two-part service. So we serve our country and we go to foreign wars, overseas, and missions like that. But I think one of the most rewarding parts about being in the National Guard is we also get to help out in our own state or other states when it comes to natural disasters, floods, snow, icy roads, like things like that. We get to really be out in the community and helping people that really need it. I mean, I've done some floods where we were, helping people that were stranded in their cars. We've done people stranded on the highway when they're all ice. We've helped them out, brought them to safety. So, that's what I like and love about the National Guard. So I think just really being able to be involved in my local community is a rewarding part of it.
Is it hard being away from family and friends when you're deployed or stationed somewhere other than Scranton?
Is it difficult to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough. When I went over in Iraq, that was 2004 to 2005. I was only 19 years old, so I really didn't have a family or anything like that yet, like of my children or wife or anything. So it was difficult to leave, my parents, my friends, my brother. Now when I go away, it's a lot harder because I have 4 children, wife, so it is difficult. Thank God for technology like this, because I get to keep in touch with them, FaceTime, things like that. So it's gotten easier over the years, but it's still difficult because we miss out on a lot of birthdays, basketball games, baseball games, holidays. So it's definitely a commitment. Sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Do you ever get nervous while serving?
Not anymore. It's been about 19 years, but when I remember when I was a private, even all the way up to E4, different situations or on different ranks of people, sure, yeah, get nervous. First, basic training, there was a lot of nerves flying around.
Yeah, I would imagine after the amount of time that you've been serving that it's just a regular day now.
Yeah, it's just, I think I've seen it all, but they always surprise me.
The next one's a little bit more lighthearted. They want to know what was the best military food you've had and the worst?
Oh, I think the worst, there's a long list there. For lunch, we usually get, if we're out training or, when we're over in Iraq, we have these meals that kind of in a bag. They're called MREs, meal ready to eat. So you always try to root through the box to find one that's not terrible. But a lot of times, it's just a grab and go. But there's I'm trying to think, the worst MRE is probably like the egg and cheese omelet. So it comes in this bag and it's vacuum sealed, and it comes with a little heater. You add water, it heats it up. But it's that's the worst one. Best, there was chow hall over in Iraq, and we'd go in there sometimes, and you could always tell when the higher ranking guys were on post because it'd be like, one night we had like steak and lobster. I think we tried to go through the line twice that day. Yes, I think those two.
Thank you. Do you ever wish that you had chosen a different career path?
I think about that sometimes. I don't think I do think about how my life would be different if I had. I'm not sure exactly what I've gone into. I've learned so much being here. I've found things that I never thought that I would be interested in that if I, excel at here.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think about how my life would be different, but I don't think I wish I chose a different career path.
Have you ever had to jump out of a plane?
Unfortunately, I never got to. I know a lot of guys that have. And they enjoy it. I've seen guys do it, but no, unfortunately, I never got to do that.
What do you think the hardest part about being in the military is?
That's an easy one. There's just being away from your family when you have to go to the train. That's definitely the hardest part.
One of the students asked why you do it. They said that they're very young and they don't really understand it yet, but they're very thankful for having you in our country. But why do you do it?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that you're thankful for our service. That means the world to us. That ties into part of why we do it. You could ask anybody in the military, they'll probably have a similar but different answer. There is a big fulfillment on serving your country. I get a lot out of it. There's also other reasons too, like I said, the college, things like that. There's a lot of benefits that go along with being a soldier, and but I think the reason why we really do it is I love my country. That's why I chose to make a career out of it.
Before we get to the last one, a lot of the students just generally asked if you had any interesting stories or things that happened to you while you were serving either at home or overseas.
I got 19 years. I have a lot of stories. I think the most interesting thing that happened to me, when I was in Iraq, when we first got there, my platoon was signed to doing force protection for a high value detaining prison. So we were just kind of guarding the outside of this prison. And then one day a platoon sergeant came in and said, "Hey, the FBI wants to talk to you guys. They want to choose a handful of you for a specific mission." He wouldn't tell us what it was. So I went through. I had my 60 of us or so interviewed with the FBI, and they chose like 22 of us. And so when they brought us back to a certain part of the prison, they told us what our job was going to be. Our job was to guard Saddam Hussein, who was the former president, dictator from Iraq. I got to spend 3 hours a day for roughly 10 months with them face to face. It was quite the experience. I'd walk into the cell area and he would say, "Hi, O'Shea, how are you?" So it was, definitely the most interesting thing that's happened to me. The older I get, it didn't seem like a big deal to me. Like I knew it was important. But the older I get, and when I reflect on that, I can see just how kind of crazy that was. That a kid from Scranton, PA, is now sitting with president of Iraq, former dictator from Iraq, in prison. So that was definitely the most interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I would react if I heard him saying my name. That's done.
Yeah, definitely.
And most of them at the end, when they were wrapping it up, they basically wanted to know if you feel like it's worth it, and if you kind of mentioned already, but would you do it again?
To me, it's definitely worth it. Just like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. After my first enlistment, I was getting close to the end of it for 6 years, and I wanted to get out. I had enough. But thank God, I made the right decision. I stayed in, and out of my 19 years, I have 13 years active duty now. So, if I could do it again, maybe I'd choose change a few things, but I wouldn't change the fact that I signed up.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Even if the students didn't submit a question, there was just an overwhelming outpouring of thankfulness for everything that you do. And Northeast, again, thanks you for taking the time out to answer these questions for our students in honor of Veterans Day.
No problem at all. If there's any follow-up questions, please just get in touch with me, and I'd be happy to answer them. And we really appreciate all the support that we get from you guys, our community. It makes it all work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and I'll let you get back to your day.
Okay, thank you. No problem. Take care.
Bye, you too.
Bye,